Hi there, it's Send with the Quest ECSS again. These are the Retaliation rescues, the final totals. Okay, uh, sorry all these videos have been taking so long. I fell on some really hard times, and it's a little difficult right now, but the Quest ECSS will not pause. So proud of my friggin' team. One of these kids rescued from being brought in by middlemen, and from sources like parents selling them or kidnapped or being told that they would have a good job to help support their family. The men and women providing this service do this every day. That means like they'll have like what you would call agents that go out from the gangs or the brothels or whatever, and or even the police a lot of times will go out and uh, either buy kids or trade for drugs or give them a loan, and they keep the kid until the loan's paid off, which it's never going to be paid off. Anyway, what happens is you also have these middlemen that grab these girls and they transport them into areas so they can be sold to the brothels. So anyways, that's what I'm talking about here. And so the majority of the children come from Vietnam because of the light skin. They're more valuable to the foreigners. In a short time, we had teams moved many miles up and down the road. What they were doing, they were scoping it out and seeing if anything was suspicious that looked like some kids were being transported, and then they would take care of the matter. Sorry. Normally, we would first offer to buy the kids, but we didn't really have the money. And real life, right? We didn't have the money, so because we had to buy other things, medical supplies and such. Also, we wanted to send a message. So all these kids were removed without payment. In other words, we stopped the vehicles, took the kids. All the kids were in okay condition from coming from very poor conditions. The totals were, these are each of the individual rescues: 4, 8, 2, 3, 2, 4, 3, 3, 4, 6, and 5, bringing the ones that were captured on the roads 45. The kids had already been processed and were on their way to the safe houses. Processed in this situation can mean many things. Some are straight from the environment are straight from the environment they were taken from. Some were resistant and beaten and raped and tortured. Most of the virgins, and most were all virgins and never be touched, because that would bring the most money. So they get more money for a virgin child, but these monsters do that in this business and use them as these the business use them and touch, because that would bring the most money. But the monsters do this business use them, and many of the girls many of these kids have to be, let's say, re-virginized. So in other words, what happens is once they're sold as a virgin, then they let's just use the word re-virginize them. I think you know what I mean without having to say it. So so many of these girls needed medical supplies and would be treated, some at the safe houses, and once they reached where they would be to get full medical, mental and physical treatment. If they were to be returned to the family, we would treat them first. Now for those totals, 12, 14, 6, 21, 17, 9, and 11, which equaled 80. Now the auction house. As I explained in the action report, it was heavily guarded, but we had an overwhelming force and very skilled team. It was swift and fast. They had no idea someone would attack this place. They were more prepared for the interruptions to the auction. When we entered, the auction was underway. Sometimes they put a camera on a few girls, other times just one at a time. Well, the customers were watching online and placed bids. Sometimes I think everyone knows what I'm talking about. Not many of you ask questions, so feel free in the comments just to ask any question you want. Anyway, we moved so fast without much resistance, and we were able to capture many IP addresses and other intel of those that were participating. We also found 3 of the rooms girls performing online for customers. The guards had not yet went to sleep, yet gave up intel where other kids were doing performances online and from private homes. Usually in this situation, they do this with the parents' or relatives' orders. All about the money and not the human. We hit 3 for time management and locations. In auction house, we rescued 21 plus 12 from the rooms. FYI, the girls performing in the rooms work 1-hour shifts. So the total here that was rescued there is 33. The private home rescues totaled 8. The hospital rescue did not turn out as well as we hoped, as you read. 2 had organs harvested, and the organs would be sold and gone. We took these girls and would transport them with respect to where they could be offered peace in the afterlife. We were not able to find their families, but we did identify where their spirit was and was from and returned it. Considered a rescue too. Now for the trafficked faked mothers and drugged kids, maimed kids, and flower girls. Totals fake mothers all. 7 refused our help because they were afraid of the gang more than us. The kids that were drugged and laying on their laps totaled 8 kids rescued. For the maimed kids, 9 rescued. The flower girls totaled 22 rescued. Treatments were bruises, drugs, malnutrition, and some of them were maimed, would be treated and found help from their disabilities. All would be protected from the gangs forever. So grouping that total was 8, 9, 22, total of 39. Now for the 3 brothels we hit. The first child brothel we got 27. The second child brothel we got 33. The third child brothel we got 44. That comes to 27, 33, 44, 104 kids from the brothels. Think how much this will cost the gang and the events within that organization. After this, I'd say heads will roll. Let's put it that way. The grand total for this mission was 311. These are the retaliation rescues for what they did to us. Previous total was 1,052. So at this point, we're at 1,363 rescues. This rescue was for the memory of our 5 fallen teammates since our beginning. Also, I would consider this our Thanksgiving rescue. Thank everyone so much. I cannot express in words. I hope all of you know that the team, volunteers, donors, friends, all of you, I love you and thank you.